Take 3. Hello, this is the Saturday before the 17th Sunday after Pentecost. Let's see. Someone was talking about how to learn Latin. I was saying you just go through the gospel every week. It's easy. And then somehow I said I'd make a video. So here I am making a video, 17th Sunday after Pentecost. Now, the things I have are this picture from a book called Images of the Evangelical Gospels by Geronimo Nadal. It's from 1593, which is a long time ago. It's before they had paperback books, but there's someone, the Devoted Friends of God made it into a nice book and put an English translation on the each facing page, so you got the original plates, which I've reproduced here, and you can see down the bottom it's actually got all these little lines to explain what the picture is about. And so what I'll do, I'll read through those first, those short bits first, so we can, my first idea was just to read the Gospel in Latin, which is there. That's just the Gospel. It's pretty short. But you want to have a little bit of background so that you can pick up more words. I'm open to suggestions on this. If you think, just read the Gospel in Latin and everyone will pick it up. And also in the middle I've got a handwriting worksheet. Maybe we'll look at that first. So this is the handwriting worksheet. Just goes through, today's Gospel talks about the greatest commandment in the law. What is the greatest commandment? Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with thy whole heart, thy whole soul, and with thy whole mind, and thou shalt love thy neighbour as thyself. So do this and you will live. So just I'll put that in there. I lined it up so they kind of correspond. So diligese is thou shalt love, and you can see how sometimes Latin can pack lots of English words into one word, and sometimes the Latin is a little bit longer, but most of the time the Latin's shorter. So that's why you should learn Latin, because there's less writing, yeah? And so when it gets to with thy whole heart, ex toto corde tuo. Corde is the bit that means heart, and toto, it means whole, or the total, and tuo is thigh. So it's in a different order in the Latin compared with the English. But it's not rocket science. You can see it goes to et in tota anima tua. The endings changes to an A because anima is a feminine noun. And it's different layers. Like if you're learning Latin, maybe you're just learning the words. Maybe you're starting to learn a bit of grammar. So it's good if you just, get a what's this called? A missal. Missals have the Latin and the English side by side. And you have a look at it each time. And you learn a little bit each week that way. I mean, it's also good to have a Latin textbook that can explain the technicalities. But at first, most people aren't thinking about technicalities, are they? So I'll go through the picture first. To the picture, that's this tab. Okay, so this is a bit zoomed in. You can see the letter A there. So these pictures all have little letters of the alphabet. There's a B, C, D. It's fun to just try to spot all the letters. I'm giving it away. I'm spoiling your fun. Anyway, we start with A. This is the temple. So you can see the fire of the altar in the middle. They're offering an animal sacrifice. Sometimes when you're reading, we don't often think about flames and animal blood and stuff, but that's all happening. And Jesus is meeting at the door of the temple with the Pharisees and the Sadducees. This is my third time reading through this. So, due to technical mistakes and stuff. But here we go. Here's the title. So, Dominica means Sunday. XVII is how you write 17 in Latin. So it's the 17th, which is decima septima post Pentecost. So the 17th Sunday after Pentecost. De primo mandato interrogato Jesus. De primo mandato, of the first commandment, or the chief commandment. Interrogator is asked in Jesus. So Jesus is asked about what is the first commandment. It's also Anno 33. So this book actually is in chronological order. So it starts with the Annunciation and goes through and actually tells you which year we're talking about, which is mostly 31, 32, or 33, because it's mostly the life of Christ. Okay, so we've got the temple, and at the bottom of Jesus' feet, you can see there's Jesus with the halo. It's got the letter B, So, it didn't read out templum bit. Templum, quo post celebrem ingressum in urbem, quotidie veniebat Jesus, ubi consudeverunt primum Herodianos dein etiam Sadduceos. So templum is the temple, whither after or post at the ingressum is the entrance in urbem. Maybe I should just read the city. The temple where after the famous entrance into town Jesus came daily, so quotidie is daily. We see that in the Lord's Prayer, quotidianum. Veniebat is he came, where he first had confounded the Herodians and then also the Sadducees. So consuteverat primum, where he had confounded the Herodianos and the Sadducees. So we see later that it's the Pharisees' turn this time. Who's Jesus going to get this time? So B says Jesus cum discipulis. So Jesus is in the middle there, and you can see behind him there's the guy with the long hair and no beard. That would be the beloved disciple John. And do you reckon this is Peter? I reckon that's Peter, but I guess there's no obvious markings there. Hello.
Hello.
Time for rosary? Okay. 5 minutes. Okay. Jesus cum discipulis, Sadducees spectantes. So C is the Sadducees are just watching, and yes, watching how Jesus will cope with the attack of the Pharisees. D, multidoro Phariseorum ante quos magnificus legis doctor. So he's the magnificus legis doctor in the middle, so magnificent doctor of the law. Jesum de primo mandato a Phariseis subordatis interrogat. So the Pharisees are going to ask him, what is the first or the greatest commandment? Then respondet Jesus primum mandatum est. So what is the first commandment? Audi Israel Dominus Deus tuus, Deus unus est, et diliges, etc. So listen, O Israel, the Lord your God is one God. Unus, due, tres, quattro, quinque? Unus, God is one. Confirmat responsum Jesu Phariseos. So the Phariseos confirms what Jesus just said. Etiam amplificat. And he also amplifies it a bit and says how Jesus is right, which is good. And Jesus responds, non longe es a regno Dei. You are not far from the kingdom, the regno Dei of God. Acrite interrogat Phariseos audiente. So acrite means bitterly. I don't think in the Bible he comes across as being bitter. But there you go, the person who writing this book thought so. And with all the people listening, audiente omni populo, so all the people is omni populo. Christus, cuius filius est, so the Christ, whose son is he? So yeah, Jesus turning about to the Pharisees and asking them a difficult question. Citans testem Davidem, and citing David as his witness. Nemo poterat ei respondere verbum, nec ausus est ulus illum amplius interrogare. So no one's able to answer him, and no one asks him any more questions after that. So that is the gospel for today in pictures. So we'll go to the text now, see how much you can pick up in the actual text. Okay, so let's zoom in a bit so hopefully you can see the words on the screen. In illo tempore, lots of gospels start off with that. And it just means in that time. Accesserunt ad Iesum Pharisei, so the Pharisees come to Jesus, et interrogavit eum unus ex eis legis doctor, says doctor of the law, tensans eum, tempting him. Magister, quod est mandatum magnum in lege? What is the biggest magnum, or the big commandment in the law? Lege is law. Ait illi Jesus diliges dominum Deum tuum. Yep. Ex toto corde tuo, et in toto anima tua, et in toto mente tua. Hoc est maximum et primum mandatum. Secundum autem simile est hic. Diliges proximum tuum. Proximos is your neighbor. Sicut te ipsum. So you shall love your neighbor as yourself. In his duobus, in these two mandatis, two commandments, universal lex pendet et prophete. So the whole law, the universal law, hangs, and the prophets. So all of the Old Testament is summed up in these two commandments. Congregatus autem Pharisaeus interrogavit eos Jesus dicens. Must find out how to, Congregatus autem Pharisaeus interrogavit eos Jesus dicens, quid vobis videtur de Christo, cuius filius est. So Jesus turns it around, asks them, what do you think of the Christ? Whose son is he? And they say, David, dicundei David. Aetilis, quomodo ergo David in spiritu vocat eum Dominum, dicens, so how then in the spirit does he call him Lord, saying, and this is quoting from the Psalms, Dixit Dominus, Dominum meo, sere dextris meis. The Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make, there's the next bit, donat ponem inimicos, the enemies, till I make your enemies, tuos scabellum, a footstool, scabellum pedum tuorum, till I make your enemies inimicos, a footstool for your feet. Si ergo David, if therefore David vocat eum Dominum, calls him Lord, quomodo filius eos est, then whose son is he, I think. Et nemo poterat ei respondere verbum, neque ausus fuit quisquam ex ille die, from that day, eum amplius interrogare. That's the gospel for tomorrow. So I hope you got a bit more out of it. So things like Dominus, Deus, Jesus, Phariseos, David, all these words. Hopefully you can know. Yeah, I might put a quiz in on the webpage. So see kidschant.com. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And God bless.